You ever feel like you're just stuck? You want something, but you're not exactly sure how to get there. Well, in this explainer, we're going to take that classic advice, believe it and you will achieve it, and actually break it down into a practical roadmap, a real guide to get you from just thinking about something to actually doing it.
So let's kick things off with this really powerful idea from Abraham Lincoln. He said, "Most people are about as happy as they make up their minds to be." Just let that sink in for a second. What he's saying is that happiness isn't something that just happens to us, it's a choice. It's a decision that you get to make right now inside your own head.
Okay, so that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you actually make up your mind to be happy? It's so easy to say, but it can feel totally impossible to do sometimes. So we're going to break it all down into two key parts. First, the inner game, that's your mindset. And second, the outer game, that's all about your actions.
First things first, we've got to tackle the believe it part of the equation. This is the foundation for everything else. Because look, before you can accomplish anything out there in the real world, you have to win the battle that's going on right here, inside your own mind.
Now check this out. What's so fascinating is that optimists and pessimists, they often face the exact same challenges in life. The only real difference is the story they tell themselves about what's happening. A pessimist sees a failure and thinks, this is permanent, it's all my fault, and it ruins everything. But an optimist? They see the very same failure as just a temporary setback, a learning opportunity, and a challenge to overcome. Same event, totally different story.
You know those nagging, negative thoughts that just pop into your head out of nowhere? There's actually a name for them. Automatic negative thoughts, or ants for short. Yeah, ants. It's that little voice that assumes the worst, that imagines people are judging you. And if you're not careful, they can completely infest your thinking.
So how do we get rid of these ANTs? Well, it's a pretty simple three-step process. First, you detach. Just observe the thought, don't judge it, don't engage with it, just watch it float by like a cloud. Step 2, look for proof. Ask yourself, is there any actual evidence that this negative thought is true? Most of the time there isn't. And third, if you're stuck in a loop, you have to interrupt the pattern. Get up, go for a walk, call a friend, do something to physically break that cycle of negative thinking.
But, it's not just about fighting off the negative. That's just playing defense. You also have to play offense, and that means actively looking for the positive. This quote just nails it. The talent for being happy is appreciating what you have instead of what you don't have. Practicing gratitude, even for the small things, is an incredibly powerful way to shift your entire mindset. All right, so once we've started strengthening our inner game, it's time to take that new mindset out into the world. This is the achieve it phase. This is where we start turning that inner belief into real, actual results that you can see and feel.
Let's be real. So much of what we accomplish in life really depends on how well we connect and communicate with other people. So how do we make our communication more powerful? How do we really get our ideas across in a way that resonates and builds strong relationships?
Well, the good news is you don't have to become some master orator overnight. It really comes down to the fundamentals. Things like actively listening to someone instead of just waiting for your turn to speak, making eye contact, having the humility to ask questions, using a little humor to break the tension, and, believe it or not, just smiling. These small things make a massive difference.
Okay, so all this great communication and collaboration, it needs a direction, right? Action without a clear destination is pretty much just chaos. To really achieve anything meaningful, you need a plan. Setting goals is the fundamental first step to taking control and steering your life in the direction you actually want to go.
Of course, there's a catch with plans. They almost never go exactly as we, planned. And this quote is a perfect, humorous reminder to stay flexible. Think of your plan less like a rigid script and more like a map. It gives you the general direction, but you have to be ready and willing to adapt when you hit an unexpected detour. Now, this is a brilliant technique for tackling those huge, overwhelming goals. You break them down into 3 simple lists. Things you can do right now, things you might do, and things that feel impossible. You start with the can-do list. Knock those out, get some quick wins, and build momentum. As you succeed, you'll start to feel more confident, and you'll begin moving goals from that might-do list over to your can-do list. And before you know it, even the things that once seemed impossible will start to look like they might just be doable. Okay, so we've covered the inner game of mindset and the outer game of action. Let's bring it all home. What's the big takeaway here? What's the central idea that connects all of this?
Here it is, the key point of this whole thing. Your inner world is the engine for your outer world. A stronger mindset, that inner change, is what gives you the fuel and the power to take effective action. And then, taking that action reinforces your belief in yourself. See how that works? It's a powerful feedback loop. One powers the other. You really can't have one without the other.
And as you head out there to start taking action, just hold on to this one last crucial piece of wisdom. Real, lasting success comes from being you. The quickest way to fail is to try to be what you think everyone else wants you to be. Be authentic. That's where your real power is.
And that, my friends, brings us to the most important question of all. Forget what makes other people successful for a minute. The question is, what really makes you tick? Answering that one question honestly and deeply, that's your true first step on this whole journey from believing to achieving.